Still like if this is Destiny calling.
Is it Destiny? Alright. Okay. Hey, you got the attendance sheet? Is over here somewhere? Alright. Shalom, Lord Christ. This is Officer Yahanna out of Atlanta, I.S.U.P.K, Atlanta. I'm Brother Commander General Yahanna, and today is the Monday night history class. Alright. Today we're teaching the history of Valentine's Day. Alright. We got a few people that joined the call. Hello? Yeah, I think you get some feedback from your phone. Is that you or somebody else? Hey, Cussy, you know what a tennis sheet is?
It's supposed to be my phone.
Okay. Who else is on the call? Destiny, who else? You said who? Okay. Okay, all right, I got you, sis. Can you put your phone on mute for me? You said what's that? You said that? Sis, can you put your phone on mute for me? There you go. Okay, there you go. Today is the 21st.
Right there, sir. What is it you have?
What's the time? Okay. We'll just go with this right now. All right, then. Anybody else join the conference call?
Select that one.
Go ahead.
You already got the class set up?
Okay.
Oh, okay. So you just need to hit start playing when you're ready.
No, it's already streaming.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm trying to find out who this is. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead. All right. We got Sister Destiny, right? And we got Azar. All right. Okay, so what's the common misconceptions about Valentine's Day, right? We think it's all about love, giving chocolates. That's what we all been taught, right? It's just about, it's a time of love, right? You've never been taught that what Valentine's Day, what it's really about. Because the Christian church, they wanna, because with them, they want to love and be accepted by everybody, right? They want to love and be accepted by everybody. And that's the difference between being an I.S.U.P.K. We're not looking to be loved and accepted by everybody. We only looking to be loved and accepted by the Most High. And that's it. But the man pleasers, which is the Roman Catholic Church, which is why they pretty much doctored the whole entire Bible. Well, not doctored it, but they put it in their interpretation, right? So what they did was they, instead of us celebrating Passover or the Feast of Purim, which we celebrated last Monday, right? That's what we did. We celebrated the Feast of Purim. We celebrated a victory over our oppressors, right? We was enslaved by another nation, and we celebrated our victory over them, or not being killed off like they wanted us to be killed off, right? By Edomite. Go figure, right? So, with that being said, so Valentine's Day, like I said, we were all taught it's all about love. It's not, you don't understand the true history of Valentine's Day, right? Valentine's Day comes from a celebration of a king. The king's name was Lupercalia. Put in my notes. So, and it was a Roman god, right? So, if you all of the gods that you had from the Greeks and the Romans, they were all the same. They just had different names, right? So it was Lupercalia. That's what his name was. So, and that's what they used to celebrate. It was a celebration of Lupercalia. All right. Let me see here. Okay. All right, Lupercalia was an ancient, possibly pre-Roman pastoral annual festival observed in the city of Rome on February 15th to avert evil spirits and purify the city. That's what February means. It means purification. Okay? That's where the root word comes from. Releasing health and fertility. Lupercalia was also D.S. Februaritis, which means purification day. After the instruments of purification called Februa, which gave the month of February, Februaris is his name, which gave February his name, the festival was later known as Februa, purifications or purgings. It was also known as Februatis and gave its name to Juno Febualis. Februlus or Februata in her role as a patron deity to a god called Februlus. And to February means, it's hard to get all this mixed up, but basically it's telling relationships of these gods, right? But it says this was like a month-long celebration, right? Which when it occurred. And it connects all of these words for purging, right? The name Lupercalia was believed in iniquity to evince some connection with the ancient Greek festival of the Arcadian Lucalia, a wolf festival in Greek. And it's the worship of the Lycaonian Pan, assumed to be a Greek equivalent to Faunus, as instituted by Evander. So this was telling you where the original, when it came to Greek, because it came from the Greeks. Because if you know anything about Greek and Roman culture, they take from everybody else. You get what I'm saying? So like the Greeks were the original, what do you call them? If you want to look them up in history, you look at them as the Sabians. That's Sabans, right? You look up the Sabian people. They had many gods that they served, right? So, as time went on and they got taken over by Ramesses and Romulus, I believe his name is. And that's where Rome comes from, the word Romulus, right? He's the one that established Rome. Well, at least instrumental in establishing Rome, right? So when he came and took over, they took all of their gods, mixed them in with their gods, and now that's what became the Greek gods, the one that you know of as now. And then when Greece fell, then now Rome came up in its place, and they took those same gods from Greece and brought them over. They just changed the names on them a little bit. All right. Let's see here. Trying to get to the point of it. All right. Anybody else join the conference call?
Shalom, young man Desmond, just called in.
Desmond, all right. Anybody else? Shalom on Christ, huh?
Lord Christ, Yahanna that.
Okay. Anybody else? Got a 615 number. Anybody know what that is? Okay. All right, let's get into it now. At the Lupercalia had his own priesthood. The Luperci, whose institution and rights were attributed either to the Arcadian culture hero Evander or to Romulus and Remus, right? Who has each supposedly established a group of followers. The Luperci were young men, juvenile, like they call from the word juveniles, right? Young men, usually between the ages of 20 and 40. They formed two religious collegia or associations, right? Based on the ancestry of the Quintiliani, named after Quintia, and the Fabiani, named after Fabia. These were colleges, right? Each college was headed by a magister in 44 BC. A third college was instituted in honor of Julius Caesar, right? Let me get to the point. Okay, now this is at the altar that they would do, right? At the Lupercal altar, a male goat or goats and a dog were sacrificed by one of the Luperci, right? So that's what they did. At the altar, they would kill these animals, right? Under the supervision of, their chief priest, right? An offering was made of salted meal cakes prepared by the Vestal virgins after the blood sacrifice. Two Luperci, which is the chief priest, approached the altar, and their foreheads were anointed with blood from the sacrificial knife. So they would then take the knife of the goat or the dog's blood, right, and they would put it on their foreheads, right. That's how you would anoint somebody. You anoint somebody with blood of a dog or a goat, right? And then wipe clean with wool soaked in milk, after which they were expected to smile and or laugh. So now they just had to bust out laughing after, like, this sounds crazy, right? But this is what they used to do. They used to take blood after they killed an animal, anoint each other with it, then get a cloth made, a wool cloth that's dipped in milk, and wash it off their head, and then they gotta laugh and smile about it, right? And it said a sacrificial feast followed. Of course, they gotta eat it, right? After which the Luperci cut thongs, known as fibula, from the flayed skin of the sacrificed goat and ran with these, naked or near naked, along the old Palatine boundary in an anti-clockwise direction around the hill in Plutarch's description of the Lupercalia written in the early empire. So now they go run around the whole city, butt naked, right? Taking the carcass of these animals. So, and as we said, many of the noble youths and of the magistrates run up and down the city naked for sport and laughter, striking those they meet with the shaggy thongs, which is the carcass of the animals, right? They would just, start slapping people with it. So, and that's the skin that they get from it. They start slapping people with dead animal carcasses, man. Just run up and down the street slapping people with it. All right? And many women of rank also purposely get in their way, and like children at school present their hands to be struck, believing that the pregnant will thus be helped in delivery. So they used to volunteer to be slapped with these animal carcasses because it was like their culture was that if they got slapped by this animal carcass and got blood all over them, that this was supposed to make an easy labor. Because labor that we have now is very easy compared to what it used to be. Labor for women was very, very hard. You know what I mean? A lot of women died having children, right? At this age, you hardly ever see somebody dying for having a child because we got the modern technology. But at this time, they didn't have all of this, so they wanted an easy pregnancy. So they believed being slapped with a dead animal, while they running down the street butt naked, was going to make their childbirth easier. Go figure, right? Okay. Descriptions of the Lupercalia festival of 44 BCE attest to its continuity. Julius Caesar used it as the backdrop for his public refusal of a golden crown offered to him by Mark Antony. The Lupercal was restored and rebuilt by Augustus and has been speculated as identical. Let me skip to the point of these. Okay. The Lupercalia festival was marked on the calendar of 354 CE, alongside traditional and Christian festivals. Despite the banning in 391 of all non-Christian cults and festivals, Lupercalia was celebrated by then the nominally Christian populace on a regular basis. So even though all of these things were banned, because they, we all know that what's his name, Constantine, he wanted to unify Rome. So he brought in, he said we should follow this Bible, right, and become Christians, right? So then the Roman Catholic Church seen the opportunity, right? When they saw the opportunity that we could unify Rome and see what it did for the Jews, right? They seen all the stories of the Jews, right? All of that. They seen how when they came together and they was under one religion, God made it so nobody can destroy them. So he saw this and he said, okay, let's all be Jews or be Christians. We're just like I don't know how you would say it, but it's like a off Jew, I guess you would call it, right? So they said, all right, let's go ahead and be this. So then the people, while they will be banning a lot of their festivals and their religious practices, like they was forcing you to do it by killing you, and the people still was celebrating these things. So what they did, they just found a way to add it in. So now it became Saint Valentine's Day, because the saints are the quote unquote Christians, right? The people that really follow Christ. That's what he said, that you are the saints. So they just gave him a saint name. So now they integrated it in with the Bible now, right? A completely pagan holiday and festival, all of a sudden now is integrated with the Bible. All right? Okay. Let me see here. Okay. All right. Into the realm. Okay. Pope Gelasius, claiming that only only the vile rabble were involved in the festival, sought its forceful abolition. So he's saying only the people that wanted to be, just being reckless was doing these crimes, was doing this, right? So he wanted to try to get the abolition of it. The Senate protested that the Lupercalia was essential to Rome's safety and well-being. This prompted Gelasius' scornful suggestion that if you assert that this right has salutary force, celebrate it yourselves in an ancestral fashion. Run nude yourselves that you may properly carry out the mockery. The remark was addressed by the senator Andromachus by Gelasius in the extended library, the epistle that was virtually a diatribe against the Lupercalia. So he told him, he said, if you want to follow this, you go and be running around naked. All right. Okay. It is known that the Lupercalia was associated with some elements of feasting. In particular, the entrails of the sacrificed goat were roasted and taken around the city for people to sample. So, entrails. Anybody know what entrails is?
So I can serve about me.
Well,
Common sir, that would be your intestines or your guts.
yep. And entrails. That's where all the trails in your body. Where all the trails in. So they will eat the goat entrails, which is their intestines, which is I guess chitlins of the goats. So, and they made meals out of it. This was a big feast for them, right? So like I said, they didn't want to give these things up. Just like you got to think of it as like just how you know how when you talk to your people, you know, your family members, and you say, yo, you don't need to celebrate this holiday, what they tell you? Well, I gotta celebrate Christmas, man. I can't imagine my life not celebrating Christmas. That's the same way these Romans were. They couldn't think of their life without celebrating Lupercalia. That was their thing. They got off on this holiday, on this, you know, whatever they want to call it. They got off on this festival so bad, and because it filled their lust. Like they were able to do, you know, if you know anything, they festivals is when everybody because you get to go and be, you got to be what they call normal and stand upright and do things, everything clean and decent and order. This is how Caucasian people live, right? They want to live and be right all the time on the outside, but then let them, every now and then they got to come back and show you, that they is a lust-filled creature, man. That they are lust-filled. That's what they got to come back and show you. That out there are full of lust. And that's how they did it, by celebrating Lupercalia. They want to run around the streets naked. If I'm not mistaken, this was where streaking came from, right? Running down the streets butt naked, right? And that's like a joke. Like it's so much of they think of it as a joke so much that, they go run around naked at like soccer games, man. Run around butt naked at football games. In front of children, they don't care who's there. They just run around butt naked. Right? Okay, anybody got any questions at all on that part? All right. Okay. Okay. Now, does anybody know where the giving somebody a heart came from? Anybody know of that? Like, do you say you give somebody a heart, anybody knows where that comes from?
I can serve by me.
Oh, yeah?
In some cultures, it's their tradition, when a young man gets, has his first experience, or we go to a prostitute, get a heart with a cross on it, or a arrow ran through it, signifying.
Okay. You're jumping ahead of me now. I'm getting to that point. That ain't the point I'm bringing up yet. I ain't breaking that part up yet. But anybody know what giving somebody a heart is? Okay. See the name of it. It was Lucius Veranus and Titus Puyo, right? See, here's what they used to do back in Roman times, right? Their military, they believed that if you were lovers, you would fight harder for each other, right? Like, you know how men are about their women, right? If you do something to the women, they're ready to kill you over their woman. and they're, they're girls, right? Like they're, who they love. They'll be ready to kill you over them. So that's a way to create a deeper, you already have brotherhood. That's why, like, a lot of times they put you together as something to be, be brothers, right? And y'all have a deep bond with each other. Go ahead.
Okay, if I may, Adawan, is that, the tradition of, like, you give a heart, your first, your gay lover, so you can fight harder for them in war? Right.
Kai, you're getting closer. So, they will go about fighting, taking over whatever they would take over. And what they would do is they cut off the heart of their enemies, and then they would give it to their gay lover, right? But the whole thing of homosexuality is pervasive in the military, right? If anybody's ever served in the military, like, they have open stalls, right? You can see all up in there. And then they keep you, if you know anything about the military, they also keep you away from women, right? That's all in their culture, because they want you to love each other so that you fight harder. You fight harder for this person right here. This your booty. They want you to fight harder for it, right? So if something happens to them, they want you to be emotional and fight, you know what I'm saying, and have that much more courage, I guess, because you'll be full of emotion. If something happens to your gay lover, then now you're going to be able to fight harder in the military. So that's what it was. And they would gave each other this a heart of their enemies. That's what giving a heart is. That's why you get like a heart full of chocolates or whatever. That's what all of that comes from. They give each other the heart of their enemy. All right? And I saw you jumping way ahead of me, man. I'm getting to that part. Let's get to this now. Anybody know what the heart symbol stands for? What that means? Go ahead.
If I may, that's, it's I know Jenna was saying back in the Celtics time, the times of the Celts, when they rape a woman, they bend her over, and it's like it's pretty much the image of spread. I don't know, PG-13 here, but it's pretty much of the body part of a woman.
Yeah, God, that's when a woman is bent over and all of that is open, her private area is open. That's where the heart comes from. If you look, it's the same exact shape of a heart, right? And that's where that would come from. So, then that's where it comes from, love, because it's making love to somebody. All of that just started getting into the same thing. You was giving love to this person. You making love, right? So a lot of times, somebody look up in the dictionary the word Shanghai, right? Go ahead.
Did you request, you said Shanghai?
Yeah, the word, not the city.
Okay, I got you, sir.
You got it?
Okay.
All right, go ahead and read it. But yeah, everybody knows Shanghai is like a country in China, right? But this is also like a verb, not just a noun. Keep going.
Shanghai, force someone to join a ship lacking a full crew by drugging them or using underhanded means.
Okay. So there was times like you do something, somebody would drug you and then take you and put you on a Navy ship, right? Also, you find yourself in a Navy ship, right? And then they take you over to Shanghai, right? Because we fighting wars and all of that. Then you just get drunk and get taken over to go fight. So then, over in all these countries, y'all know prostitution isn't illegal in all these countries, right? So, but here's if you were a prostitute, you couldn't have, a name on your door. So they would just put a heart up. That's what they would put up. So then it comes from like a lot of different things. Like they would do this, and then a lot of times men, they would get their sons. That's like, they're like 16, 17 years old. And then they would go and get them to go on this boat, right? They would get them to go on this boat, and then they'll take them over to the whorehouse. Like, it's not even just on a boat, but just in general. They would go and just take them to a whorehouse. And then because you're 16, 17, that means, during this time, you never lay with a woman, right? Because during this time, most women weren't whores, like, these days, of course, right? If you meet a virgin, she's 5, right? You meet a woman that's never known a man, she doesn't even have 2 digits to her name, to her age now, you know what I'm saying? So at this time, they were virgins, right? So these men, they hadn't laid with anybody. So they wanted to grow them up and say that you're now a man, right? So they would go and pay for them to go lay with this whore. So now, then they would go and get a tattoo put on their arm, right? And then that arm would have a heart with an arrow going through it. And that arrow means that you have now been a man, because you have now laid with a woman. But they did this because most cultures believe like if you lay with this woman, you have to marry this woman. You can't just lay with these women, right? Of course they had slaves, they could do whatever they want. But I'm talking like if you had your own like noble people or whoever, they couldn't just lay with women that's their own people and then just throw them away. That would get them, probably killed, jailed, if nothing else, shame on their family, right? At the very least, shame on their family. So that's what they would do, take them to a whorehouse, and then they can go lay with this whore, and then now they have now become a man, right? All right, any questions on that at all? Come on, y'all. Why y'all so quiet? You ain't got no questions.
So I got one.
Go ahead.
I kind of just want to make a comment, no question, but it's kind of heavy that you kind of bring that out because it's still in modern day time we still hear the same thing going on today. For example, like Wendy Williams, she took her son to a strip club for his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And do thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars out, just to put him in that environment. Ain't God knows what else you put him on. You know put him on too. But it's just that same type of culture, that same type of lifestyle is still going on today, and how we adapt to it. Like,
everybody was taught manhood is just once you lay with a woman, you now a man, right? That's what everybody been taught that. You was taught that when you was a kid, right? If you didn't lay with a woman, you wasn't no man. So that's coming from all of the Greek societies, coming all the way up to the Roman society and into American society. It's all the same society, all the same culture, the same people ruling, right? All right, let me see what I'm gonna bring out next. Okay. So you all know about them slapping the women with carcasses, right? And they wanted to be slapped with them. They wanted to be slapped with dead animals, right? It would make them fertile and have an easy pregnancy, right?
So I got one. I ain't trying to be a clown, but could that still be related to witchcraft? So
What were you talking about doing that?
yeah, so slapping. I'm sorry, I'm trying to laugh.
I get it.
Slapping with the dead carcasses and stuff. Man, I know we hear some crazy stuff in the world, man, that went on in probably some stuff. I don't know about that still going on, but yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. I was just wondering, could we still relate that to, people practicing witchcraft? Come on.
Okay. You can, and do you know how you can relate it to that?
So I mean, the spiritual belief of the practice and trying to manifest it. So I mean, that's how. I mean, I would put it. I would think to put it in terms that way, but that's why I had to ask you.
Give me a real world example right now.
Like I say,
Go ahead.
if I may, I don't want to. It's like having a rabbit's foot, breaking a mirror, walking under a ladder. It's using a pagan ritual, like slapping someone off a dead, disgusting carcass, and you fully believe in your heart that you're going to receive a blessing from it. It's a lot.
Yes, I forgot about that, having a rabbit's foot. I forgot about that. You age people a little bit with that, having a rabbit's foot. But yeah, it's just all of that stuff. Go ahead.
I got a homegirl, one of my best friends. She has another female friend, and she sells these beads. I guess they like fertility beads. And these beads, the woman put them up in their vagina, and it's supposed to help make them fertile. I never heard. I never heard of them actually working, but I've been hearing the women, buying them and stuff like that. So I could use that as an example. Like.
Exactly. Like you referring to everything except the Most High. It's supposed to make you fertile. Remember what happened with Abraham and Sarah? Right? Remember that? God told Sarah that she gonna have a child. She started laughing to herself, said, "So I'm gonna have some pleasure." Right? I mean, she's thinking her old age. So now she wasn't thinking that this was gonna come from, her having a rabbit's foot or putting bees in her box. She said it's coming from the Most High. She gonna have a child, right? So, go ahead up.
Is that kind of like the women that burn sage and stuff like that too?
Yeah, get rid of spirits.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all that nonsense.
Some luck or something like that. Is that like the same thing?
All she doing when she having that is because she knows she full of demons. That's all that really is. And it makes her feel calm. But she's the demon.
God.
That's the demon. It's not that there's demons in there. But the demons are there. They're right there in her. That's the issue.
Yeah, right.
And she not willing to, she thinks sage gets rid of evil spirits or putting salt on your door. They're supposed to get rid of evil spirits. It's supposed to be like a force field. Right? When all the demons is inside of you. That's the problem. They all right there. Right? So, and then you can put it to as the Christian church, right? I'm trying to think what's something silly. You think you hunting for Easter eggs is of God. That is silly.
Like when they speak in tongues, they think.
Oh, that's what I was thinking about earlier. Like you said, that means something. That's supposed to be your prayer language, ain't it? Isn't that what it said? That's your prayer language. That means you supposed to say something that the Satan, he can't stop your prayers because he don't know what the hell you said. Well, you don't know what the hell you said either. God don't know what you said. Go ahead.
Like I see a lot of that stuff on Facebook where they be talking about, I'm about to send the prayer warriors and all that.
Prayer warriors, all this nonsense. It's just silly. Like, you show that you really are childlike if you're doing this. Your pat, who does all that? Creflo Dollar, Deflo? You say you gotta sing. They say all this nonsense, right? And then, like who made that? Who made that when you say, yeah, when you go to church? Who made that, man? You gotta do this. Who did that? Like, I used to hear him going there, I'm like, I remember when I was in church, man, I used to think, who the first person came up with this, and why is this here? What is the point of that? And that was their thing, right? That's all witchcraft. The gospel music is witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? I even got a breakdown that even how they got the lights, how they dim the lights, right? They got the colored windows, make it nice and dim. Y'all know, has anybody ever heard of something called music theory? Anybody heard of music theory? Okay. Music theory is it's like, how do you put it? I was learning because I used to try to learn how to make music when I was younger, right? So music theory is basically, you can play these keys and it creates emotion, right? One thing that's in music theory is that you have to have, a certain chord that you would press on a piano, and it will create tension. So it'll be like, and then it'll go, and that's the release. I can't, like I said, it's been years, but it'll be something, and it's making you like tense up. You know what I'm saying? In your body, makes your body tense up. And then it has another one going, boom, and it just like evens you out. It's the tension and release. So they learn how to do these with the music, and they can manipulate your emotions with music. Like, you know how music can be powerful. How many times have you seen women that hear a song and they start crying? I remember somebody told me one time they used to cry watching The Man in the Mirror. They hear the Man in the Mirror song. Every time that song comes on, they start crying. Right? One time, I Believe I Could Fly. I heard that before. They start crying. It brings up a memory to them, right?
It's a lot, y'all. They cry to Usher, Let It Burn, too.
Yeah, Let It Burn, all of that. Everybody got these songs. They know how powerful music is because they manipulate your emotions with it. You was about to say something, Azar?
Kind of concert. If I may, I remember General Muhammad was saying, they hired a specialist, a musical specialist in his church. And when he started singing his special song, all the women would go crazy and he just opened up their wallets. It's like the movie Titanic. You watch that, you will go crazy. Everybody remembers the song Lady in Red. When people hear that, they go nuts. You know what I mean? It's usually something to do with your childhood, high school, the song, your prom, and they use these movies and all that, you know what I mean, to control your emotions and your pockets. You know what I mean? The press of the devil, the Bible speaks of a lot.
That's absolutely right. So it's all coming from all of that. They play the music, they play the songs. Like I said, everything is designed. Like I said, it's music theory. If you notice, the most emotional songs have the most music theory in it. The most, I'm trying to think of one. And they're usually like the sadder songs, right? And it helps to build up that like I said, that tension, it helps, then it gives you the release. So tension, release, and that has like an emotional tug on you, which is like the Christian church. They got an emotional tug on you that like you have to go to church. It's like a high, and that's why it is like witchcraft. It's like a high, but it's worse than doing drugs. Because at least a drug addict, or Commander Yahanna say, at least a drug addict, a crackhead know he gotta get off crack. But the Christian church don't think they gotta get out of Christianity, man. They think that Christianity is something holy and devout, but it is a witchcraft. That's all it really is. The whole thing is they start doing it. They start singing the sad songs. If you even sing like even at like a Caucasian church, right? They don't ever like black church. They be a little loud, they get a little happy. But if you go to their church, they songs be sad, ooh, or the slow singing. You know what I'm saying? It's to get the emotion of you coming to church, which is all Christianity is. It's just emotion. It's not anything based on fact. It's all just emotion. All right. Anybody else got anything they want to say? Go ahead.
It was bringing this out a while ago. They even did this back in the old days, the Catholic Church, when they had the organs. They even have several names for it. One of which is called solfeggio. And they will get music tones at a certain frequency. Like I believe 438 hertz. There's a frequency of love. Stuff like that they create to resonate with your mind state and try to control you in certain ways. You know what I mean?
Music just can just have a power over people. Anybody know if that happened in the Bible? Go ahead.
Talking about the walls of Jericho.
Try to see how well your officers been studying. Anybody know?
That's what doctor, sir.
Go ahead.
If I may, it happens in the book of Psalms, and that you use music to tenderize the tender maiden. You know what I mean? Right.
The music would tenderize what?
Like King David and King Solomon would use music, songs to sing to try to entice the pretty girls.
But that's a specific part I want you to tell me about that.
I got one.
Go ahead.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Okay. Let me see. Get it. Okay. The question was, where in the Bible music comforted somebody? I mean, y'all on point with David. Go ahead.
If I may, I remember there was a point in time where the angels played a song to soothe someone in need. I don't remember the exact part though.
Okay, I remember seeing that too. But that's what I'm talking about specifically. But So one of you brothers turn to 1 Samuel chapter 16. Okay, anybody got that?
So I got it.
Y'all over there, y'all got that? Anybody there?
I got First Samuel. I got First Samuel 16.
Okay.
You said comforter with a song.
I'll get the verse. I'll tell you in a second, but I'll tell you basically. Y'all know it was a time where Saul was losing his kingdom, right? And Samuel was looking for somebody, who the next king was. And he knew it was from the house of Jesse. So he came to, and that's what he seen. He laid eyes on David. That's where you can go to, let me see. Go to verse 11. So you see, you know the thing about it, Jesse, when he said that it had to be one of Jesse's sons, he had 3 other sons, and they were like mighty men and fighting in war, And he said, no, it's not none of these 3. You have another son. He didn't believe that it was David. He said, no, I can't be David. David was the keeper of sheep. All right, so read there at verse 11.
This is the book of First Samuel, chapter 16, verse 11. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Are here all thy children?
So he asked him, is these all your children? He just asked him, are these all your children? Because he didn't show them his other 3. And he said, no, it's not none of these 3 that the Most High wants to be king of Israel. It's not none of these 3. Are these all your children? Keep going.
And he said, there remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep.
So now he's saying that this is the youngest. Behold, look. Behold means to look. He's here you go. He keeps the sheep. Keep going.
And Samuel said unto Jesse, send and fetch him. For we will not sit down till he come hither. So
he's saying, go and get him. Bring him here. We ain't going to sit down and talk until he comes. Keep going.
Verse 12. And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy and withal of a beautiful countenance.
So that's describing how he was looking. He was looking like a little pretty boy. You know what I'm saying? So he was ruddy. They say he had like a reddish tint to his skin, right? People like to try to say this is what they were trying to say, that that he was white or he was like Esau, because it says ruddy, but it says that Esau, it said no, he was red. There's a difference in how they were used, right? And everything, like just because you see one word in somewhere else, black people use the same words that have 2 different meanings. I'm sure you all know, right? So all right, keep going.
And goodly to look to.
So he's saying he was like a pretty boy, right? He was something that, all the women gonna like looking at him. All this, he was a pretty boy. Keep going.
And the Lord said, arise, anoint him, for this is he.
So he said, anoint him. He anointed him. He ain't gonna anoint him with no blood from a knife or a dog's, though, is he? He gonna anoint him with oil, right? Which is clean. Not with the blood of no, unclean animal, unclean beast. All right, keep going.
Verse 13. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward.
So now he said, this is how it's supposed to be with everybody. Do y'all realize how when you become an officer, you have a different spirit on you, right? Can anybody attest to that?
Come.
The moment you became an officer, your whole countenance changed, didn't it?
Sir.
I'm not saying that you weren't making mistakes. I'm not saying that. But it's like a certain spirit that comes over you after being when you first become an officer, right? It's just different. Like you feel a certain way when you become a trooper first, but there's a whole difference when you become an officer. Go ahead.
So like about me, I'm a hella drag ball, man. I promise to the Most High, I feel like I've been Super Saiyan 1. I went Super Saiyan for the first
God, I still watch that sometimes, man. That's my show. But yeah, that's how it is. It's like you again, like you notice too, scriptures start making more sense. All of that, right? The breakdowns become clearer than they were when you were a trooper or when you were coming into the school. Like you heard breakdowns while you were in the classes, right? When you was a young man and trooper, right? Y'all heard breakdowns, right? But what happens when you get the oil poured in your head? It's deeper, right? And deeper understanding.
Lock out one.
Go ahead, Mashallah.
It's like you want to get into it, you know, it's like you want to just dive into the scriptures more and get a good, because you know it's coming, you know you're going to have that good understanding, like you said, once you become an officer. Mm-hmm. And then it's just like you know, it's just like how you feel, like I gotta, it's like you try hard, it's like you try harder to do the right thing now and actually follow the scriptures, you know.
Okay. You want to learn how to do everything right. You realize you've been doing everything wrong your whole life. Now you want to do everything right. But it's like a certain, like you're not, how do I put it? Like, hold on one second. It's like, one second. It's like you're more courageous. Like, before coming to the school, I would never stand up in nobody's damn camp and blaze. I never stood in front. I told brothers repeatedly, I never liked speaking. Right? I still don't particularly like it like that. I mean, I've learned to be content with it, and I can deal with it. Sometimes I do want to get out there and do it. It does happen, but it's a different spirit that you have. Like I'm not fearful of doing it. I just get up and get it done. So it's like a spirit that comes on you. Go ahead on the conference call. I think it was Gashan.
I was just gonna kind of piggyback off what you were saying with such a heavy point. You know, once you become that trooper, then you in the process of working. Putting in your brick, trying to become an officer, trying to be that greater person. Different from the people in the world. That when you get deep into the scripts, that when you follow the law, statutes, commandments, doing what the Most High wants you to do, following Christ, follow commandments during the month, that you can be a perfect man. And for the sisters as well, when they actually humble themselves and listen to the scriptures and listen to the men above them teaching them, they know they can become perfect, perfect women. That's that feeling that you get that people strive to do better in life, but listen to the Christian church, ain't no man perfect, ain't nobody perfect but God,
Mm-hmm.
But when you come into the truth, you get that spirit that hey, it's not too late for me. I can become perfect. I can become a perfect being. Slot.
And Con, do you know what a good cut is to that? You can tell Christians. When they say you can't sin, I'll give you one right now. Ask them, will God ever give them anything that they can't handle? How many times you heard Christians say that? God don't give you nothing that you can't handle. Then why can't you handle following the law?
Slocky, I don't want
Go ahead.
that is too heavy.
I'm just
I
saying.
never thought about that.
Come, just tell them to marinate on that for a little bit. That's what they say. You can't follow the law. You can't follow it. I said, well, just kind of change the subject, but say, God said that He would never put nothing in your face in front of you that you can't handle, right? They'll say, yeah. Why you can't handle following the law? That was placed in front of you.
Right.
And they're going to be what? Cut. Deep wound. Alright. Okay, I guess we can keep reading here. Keep going.
Come on. Verse 13. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah.
Keep going.
Verse 14. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him.
So that's a heavy point right there. A lot of Christians, they think Satan is working against the Most High. This scripture just proves that Satan works for the Most High. There's another scripture y'all can put into your repertoire to show that Christians that Satan works for the Most High. Alright? Another one is when you see the evil spirits, put in evil spirits, and I think it's talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. And it said God sent evil spirits or evil angels. It might be evil angels, right, upon them. Was it the same thing? Okay. All right, keep going.
Verse 15. And Saul's servant said unto him, Behold now, an evil spirit from God troubles thee.
So he said his servants even telling him evil spirit is troubling you, right? Because when people think when they got an evil spirit on them, nobody know. Like we had camp this day, right? That brother that was out there going against the camp, he thought he was trying to bring out something. All he do was make everybody realize around him that he had an evil spirit on him. That's all he did was make everybody realize it. Keep going.
Verse 16. Let our Lord now command thy servants, which are before thee, to seek out a man who is a cunning player on an harp.
So now they trying to get a man who's a good, skillful player. Cunning means skillful, right? Keep going.
And it shall come to pass when the evil spirit from God is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well.
So now he's saying whenever this evil spirit that comes upon Saul, right, which this evil spirit is, he's trying to go against David. He's trying to destroy, basically, one second, he's trying to destroy the kingdom of Israel. He may not know that's what he's doing, but he's destroying the kingdom of Israel. Go ahead.
That's a lot of stuff I've made. Can we say that a lot of times we are taught that at a certain level, the priests and prophets of the Lord, you they immediately saw that a spirit, right, just came into him. Is that the same as discerning spirits? Like,
You can discern spirits. You've been discerning spirits your whole life. Okay? When you on a block, right? Somebody mean mugging. You discerning it's a spirit, right? That's a spirit. That brother got a spirit on him. He want to do damage to somebody, right? So it's, because what they say that you speak, you know, like 90% of your language that you speak, that you have, it doesn't even come from your words. It comes from your tonality, right? Your expression, your face, all of these other things, right? And you've been discerning spirits of these your whole life. You've been doing this your whole entire life, right? Most brothers, especially the ones that's in the truth now, has been doing it their whole entire life, even deeper than most people even in the world. You've been having to do it. It's just now when you come in the truth, you gotta it's like you gotta discern a different spirit. So like now you just kind of knew the base level. You knew, okay, something's off with this brother. But now as you being a priest, you gotta determine what's off on this brother. And then where to send him to get the proper medicine or how to fix his. Like, you know how it was times that, I've tried to get a story, that there was times that, people they would pray for something to change, but this particular spirit, it needed prayer and fasting. If y'all know, it's a story in the Bible, I can't remember which one it is right on top of my head, but this particular demon, he needs prayer and fasting, right, to get rid of this demon. So and that's the medicine for the demon. You get what I'm saying? All ailments that you have is just demons damaging your body. That's literally all it is. Demons damaging your body. So when you do these certain things, you get medicine or you might get something else, you're getting rid of the demon that's taking over your body. So as you being a priest, you have to, what you're doing now is you're learning how to fix the part of people that's the most broken. Yeah, you can break somebody's body, they can have no legs, but them having a broken spirit is something that's even deeper than not having no arms or no legs, right? That's a deeper wound to heal. And that's what you as a priest have to now learn how to do. So you get what I mean, Azar? I think that there was Azar I was talking to. No sweat. So that's what you got to do now as priests. All right, keep going.
And it shall come to pass when the evil spirit from God is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well.
You read that part.
17.
Go ahead.
Verse 17. And Saul said unto his servants, provide me now a man that can play well, and bring him to me.
Keep going.
Verse 18. Then answered one of the servants and said, behold, I have seen a son of Jesse, the Bethlehemite, that is cunning in play, and a mighty valiant man, and a man of war, and prudent in matters, and a comely person, and the Lord is with him.
So he's saying all of this stuff. He's prudent. He's strict in manners, right? A man of war, valiant. He's honorable, right? A man of war. He's fighting, trained on how to fight. Keep going.
Verse 19. Wherefore Saul sent messengers unto Jesse, and said, Send me David thy son, which is with the sheep.
Keep going.
Verse 20. And Jesse took an ass laden with bread, and a bottle of wine, and a kid, and sent them by David his son unto Saul.
Okay, so, and Jesse, he took all of this because he given a gift to the king. You know, he gave an ass that had bread and all these things and gave them to the king, all right? So he went and got David so that he could play this harp for him, all right? Keep going.
Verse 21. And David came.
Oh, wait, stop right there. And this is how all the nations gonna do to us, right? We gonna be the kings. They gonna be coming whenever they gotta do something. Like, that's why we getting trained up now. Like, even like right now, right? We have to, when the generals come, what do we gotta do? Have a gift for them, right? A tribute to the generals, right? When they come through. The same thing. We're training up how people are going to do us. Whenever you gonna be, you might be the king of, you might be over one of them Hamites, man, a Hamite nation. And every time you go to that nation, you go to those people, they gotta bring you a tribute.
Yeah, right.
Right? That's what they gotta give you something. They gotta give you that good strong. You know what I'm saying? They gotta give you something. It could be a new slave. Right? So that's what we're doing. That's why everything that you do in the UPK is practice for how you want to rule the kingdom. Even down to the tributes that we give to the generals when they come into a town. All right? Keep going.
Verse 21. And David came to Saul and stood before him, and he loved him greatly, and he became his armor bearer.
So when he came to him, he loved this boy, right? His armor bearer. I think that's when it puts his armor on. He's over the armor. Like you have, people have different jobs. He was over all of the armor. All right, keep going.
Verse 22. And Saul sent to Jesse, saying, Let David, I pray thee, stand before me, for he hath found favor in my sight. So
he said that he's found favor, like he's found favors. He said, yo, I like this brother. You know what I'm saying? So he said, let him stand right here, right in front of me. Keep going.
Verse 23. And it came to pass, when the evil spirit from God was upon Saul, that David took an harp and played with his hand. So Saul was refreshed and was well.
So now whenever that evil spirit came, he got refreshed. He felt better. Because anybody know when you're dealing with a demon, right? People think the burden of being in the truth is hard, right? No, the burden is the demon. Do you understand what I'm getting at? The burden is not the truth. That's the burden. It's the giving up that demon. You see what the brain did? You notice when you got rid of the demon, what did you feel? Refreshed. You feel like a new person. Getting rid of that demon, man. Feel like a brand new person. And that's how Saul felt. Because when that demon is on you, it's wearing on you. Because there's no bigger battle than the battle you have in your own mind. That's the biggest battle. These battles out here is nothing compared to that. The battle you have in your own mind, think about that. And when you finally won, that is a refreshing thing. Right? Keep going.
So Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him.
So he was refreshed and he was well, and evil spirit departed from him. So now, when we used to do songs to really get rid of demons, now the Christian church uses music to put demons on you. Ain't that heavy? So now, you worse than you were. Because at least if you played some rap music, it made you want to fight. It made you want to go against the grain. You play that gospel music, what does that gospel music do? It make you want to hug the so-called oppressor, don't it? You want to give him a big old kiss, right? Just like you love him, right? That's what gospel music is. That's why it's witchcraft, man. It is witchcraft. Because it make, you listen to gospel music, what does it do? Make you just feel all good. It don't make you feel, you notice the difference. It didn't say that he felt good. It said that he was refreshed. Look at the wording. You play gospel music, you feel good. Because it's a drug. But then when you get rid of that drug, you now feel refreshed. It's a difference. You feel clean. Saturated with real water. Right? Like, you know that feeling when you have worked slavery all day and you get that fresh shower, you feel refreshed. Right?
Right.
That's how you feel. When you go there, it feels like you just had a hit of weed. Like you go to church, that's what it felt like. Just had a blunt. It ain't fixed nothing. You just feel a little better.
Okay.
Go ahead on the conference call.
Like I said, Nate, that's real heavy, sir. Can we say that music has a spirit on it? You know what I mean? Like you put on some 90s gangster rap, makes you want to party, or some people want to, go to the gym or fight, go to boxing, whatever. You put on, some either might put on some heavy metal, makes it want to hang a cat. Something like that, right?
When they say F you, mom, yeah, it's a spirit on it.
Yeah. Every when, if I may, I want you want to, you want to put a girlfriend in the back of the trunk and drive up a bridge, or you put on some gospel, makes you want to get on your knees and surrender, say I surrender, Lord, and take my money, and you know what I mean. So,
it does have a spirit. That's the music theory. That's the spirit. It's spitting on you. They know what they're doing. That's why it's not a sin to listen to rap music, but it is a sin to listen to gospel music. It's witchcraft. Just like you go to church, you get a spirit of, or you get a spirit of going to Christmas, the Christmas spirit. That's the spirit of going to church, playing gospel music. If you play a gospel song, I know you grew up on them, you're going to find yourself in the Christian church again, banging the tambourine. It's going to happen. Because you love that drug. Go ahead on the conference call.
I don't want it so heavy that you bring that out. I used to tell people all the time, Kirk Franklin made this hit song, and it stayed real popular for a long time. It's name of it
Stone.
Is won't nobody love nobody but you. You know what I'm saying? And people didn't really listen to that song close and listen to the words that were being sung, what they were saying in that song. That song was basically telling you to hate your people and love. It's so ass backwards. It tells them to love, love God and nobody but God. You know what I'm saying? I think people didn't listen to the lyrics of that song, and it's so demonic because how can, just like the scripture say, how can you love your brother that, you see, but, you love him more high that you've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And through that song, that whole song, he got the choir singing loud and proud. And and that song stayed a hit song for so long, and people never caught on to that, how demonic that song was.
It is. It's very demonic. It's very demonic because that's what all of these things are. Birthday celebrations, Christmas. It teaches you to be selfish. Right? But God tells you love your brother as you love yourself. I was even thinking at one point, like, man, I meant to say they can, but I forgot. But here's the thing that's wrong with black people. Like, the scriptures say, love your brother as you love yourself. How about you love your brother better than you love yourself?
Right.
Try that. Let's say, okay, I think myself this high, but I think higher of my brother. Let's try that, black people, right? Let's try to love our brothers above than we love ourselves. Then maybe as far as we think we love ourselves. You actually love yourself more. But that's because we grew up in this, in this hell society, this other society. That makes you celebrate and love yourself more than you love anybody. Right? Go ahead and conference call.
So like y'all the one, what you bring out is so heavy, and if I may, a couple of points. You're talking about music theory. With the music theory, inside of that is this thing called notes and note patterns and note annotations and all that. And there are notes on a keyboard that when you hear them, it piques your senses, and they're called true tones. Mm-hmm. And I'll give you an example of a true tone. When you listen to the NBC call sign, the dum 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 dum, them little bells that you make on NBC, mm-hmm. Those are true tones. Those are true tones to get your attention and to have your attention focused on whatever they want to put behind it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it goes to that gospel music with them true tones. Not just with the gospel music, because gospel music, R&B, blues, and rap music are all the same thing. They are a distraction to keep you from doing what the Most High really wants you to do. It's a lot.
God, I says witchcraft. If you ever noticed, some of the best musicians were people that went to church. The best producers, a lot of them were people that went to church because they understand that music theory the best. All right. You say you want to say something about Charlotte?
Nah, sir, I never mind. Kind of forgot.
Oh, I got you.
So like y'all the one.
Go ahead.
What you had also brought out too, you know what I'm saying, this thing is so heavy and declared about, you know what I'm saying, with that music and Valentine's and all that. When certain songs come on, like you say, it brings a euphoria over people. It takes them to a place they ain't been or a place they're trying to get to that they've been before. And when people get caught up in that euphoric moment of that music, they tend to lose their damn mind and do any and everything within their lust that they want to do. Whether it's listening to rap music and going out to kill somebody, listen to R&B and want to make babies, or listen to gospel music and make you want to go to sleep with your woman brother. Because at the church, when they have those musical programs at the church, they bring in these different groups in. A lot of those men in those groups, they're preying on the women in the audience, and the songs get them all riled up. And they'll take them women outside of that church and sleep with them on the church ground while a program or what have you is going on. The oppressor, the devil, and his minions are just like they are what the Bible calls the devil.
That's right, huh? Exactly what they are. That's the whole thing, man. Like I said, it's just putting the spirits on you, right? It wants you to be evil, right? That's just Satan. He wants you to treat your brother bad because he knows if you treat yourself high and your brother's low, you're going to destroy yourself, man. And he said, you're going to sleep with your brother's woman. You're going to do that. Right? Because you love yourself more. But he said, can't nobody love me like Jesus. But here's the thing. The person that they saying they love is Caesar. Right? That's what they love is Caesar. And the depiction of Christ is Chronos.
So like you, sir.
Go ahead.
Kind of a while from me, really heavy points bringing out. You know what I mean? Like there was an incident in a popular restaurant in Texas, right? It was a fancy restaurant. You know, there was some women in there, some sisters, and a song came out. It's kind of like when the song comes out. Every woman just start twerking. They got that spirit of hope, a Jezebel, right? And when we talk about Kirk Franklin, sir, right, it's the spirit of his music that helped to make his son gay. You know what I mean? So rock you, sir.
Yeah, it came right back on him. That's that's portion of a wicked man right there. His son being gay, right? Because you know why his son is gay? Because can't nobody love you like you love you. right? And his son probably was molested. Let's be real. His son probably was molested. You know why he got molested? You know what the molester was thinking? Can't nobody love you more than you love you, man. That's what he was thinking. Like, you about to molest a child. What do you think is going on through these people's mind? You think they worried about how this person feels? Or they only concerned about how they feel and what they want, they lust, right? They're not, most of them, it's a perpetual cycle. Most of them was molested. So they're not feeling, and that when they got molested, that demon got put on them, right? So this is a short story. I watched, it was a story, I think it was on Law and Order. I might be messing up the story a little bit, just to keep it short. But there was a dude or whatever, he went and, like he was molesting, he was a child, right? Like they came out later, like you start learning all this. But he was molested as a child, right? And then somebody kidnapped his nephew and was doing stuff to him. He killed that dude. And then guess what he did? Started the process of molesting his girlfriend's son. He caught it and realized it and stopped himself from going all the way through it. But you see how just that simple, he's thinking about himself. He's not thinking about his brother. You get what I'm saying? All right. Anything else somebody want to bring out? All right. With that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer 50, MashaAllah.
See that priest in part with a powerful hand. That was a very wild class. Alright. I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 through 21. Malachi 3, 8 through 10. Ma'ashra means tenth in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you like to select, whatever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations is the Passover, the 53rd Passover, April 15th, Cocoa Beach, Florida, and the Feast of Unleavened Bread is April 16th. A reminder to all the Akim and Akwatim to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarves, and Google address every time they are heading to the school. With that, men of Israel, we'll give the teacher a courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbarakatah.
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbarakatah.
Yamatat means hands down. I think we have a sister in the class. We'll give her a courtesy salute.
She's gone.
She's gone. So with that, class dismissed.